Hello guys, myself Anshuman Jaiswal welcome you all in my Commerce Gateway classes. In today's lecture, that is part 3 of accounting equation, we will be dealing with some more practical concepts of accounting equation. So let's get started. So before moving on to the question, first you have to draw the format of accounting equation as already discussed in the previous classes. You have to write a serial number or date, what is given in the question. Then you have to write a particulars. Then you have to write a assets is equal to liability plus capital, that is framing and accounting equation. Now let's start with the question that what is given in the transaction. But before this, you have to one thing more you have to follow. In assets, you have to write the main assets, that is cash will be there, stock will be there, debtor will be there. It can be more, we will see that what transaction is given later on. Then in liability we will write a creditor and capital. Then again you have to draw the line with a ruler, and now our question starts. So our first transaction is given, that is commenced business with cash 20,000. Commenced business with cash rupees 20,000. As the meaning of commenced is started, so we can say that commenced business with cash or started business with cash, the thing is same. Now as already discussed that the businessman has invested 20,000 in the business, so into his business 20,000 the cash increases and it also creates the capital of 20,000, and rest no change in stock, no change in debtor and no change in creditor. As already discussed that why this transaction taking place, because of business entity principle. You can refer my previous video and it will be clear to you the concepts that why we are commenced business with cash and why treating in cash and capital. Now moving on to the next transaction, but before this you have to draw a line and you have to frame the equation so that it can be balanced. Equation will be 20,000 in cash plus stock 0 plus debtor 0, creditor 0 and plus 20,000 capital. Now what is the second transaction given? Our second transaction is given purchase furniture for cash rupees 500. Purchased furniture for 500 in cash. Since we are purchasing the furniture, so furniture is an asset, so you have to include here one more asset, that is furniture. Since the furniture is coming into the business, so furniture increases by 500 and the cash decreases by 500 because we are making the payment of furniture in through cash, so our cash decreases by 500, and rest no change in stock and no change in debtor, no change in creditor and no change in capital. As you can see that two transactions we have done, in two transactions dual effect get follows. So moving on to a third transaction. So before moving on to the third transaction, we have to frame an equation and we have to write here the balancing amount, that is 19,500 plus 0 plus 0 plus 500 is equal to 0 plus 20,000. As you can see 19,500 plus 500 is equal to 20,000 and here also 20,000. The equation gets balanced. Moving on to a third transaction. The third transaction is purchase goods for 1,000 in cash. Purchased goods for rupees 1,000 in cash. Since we are purchasing the goods in cash, as this transaction has already been discussed in the previous video, so since we are purchasing the goods, so the stock is coming into the business, so stock will be added by 1,000 and we are making the payment of goods through cash, so our cash goes out of the business, and rest no change in debtor, no change in furniture, no change in creditor and no change in capital. So again the equation gets framed. So what will be our equation? Our equation will be 18,500 in cash, 1,000 in stock, no change in debtor, 500 in furniture, 0, no change in creditor, and plus 20,000 in capital. Now moving on to the fourth transaction. Now what is fourth transaction given? The fourth transaction given is purchased goods for 2,000 for rupees 2,000 on credit. This transaction has already been discussed in the previous class. So since we are purchasing the goods, so the asset is coming into the business, so the stock increases by 2,000, and now we are purchasing the goods on credit, so our liability also increases by 2,000. So this should be added in the creditor, and no change in cash, no change in debtor, no change in furniture, and no change in capital. As already discussed, the person from whom we are purchasing the goods is known as creditor. So our equation also gets framed here. So you have to write here equation and frame it. You have to balance it. So let us see how. 18,500 in cash, 3,000 in stock, no change in debtor, 500 in furniture, 2,000 in creditor, and 20,000 in capital. Now you can see 18,500 plus 3,000, that is 21,500, and plus 500, 22,000. Here also 20,000 plus 2,000, that is 22,000. So equation gets balanced. Now moving on to the fifth transaction. But before moving on to the fifth transaction, one thing remember, that when your equation, when the space is not available here, then you can carry your transactions to the next page. So you have to write here now you can write above the equation. You have to write here the equation, the carried equation, the equation you have written here will be carried above, that is 18,500 in cash plus 3,000 in stock, no change in debtor, furniture 500, creditor 2,000, and capital 20,000. So now moving on to the fifth transaction. So fifth transaction is, what is the fifth transaction? Fifth transaction is sold goods costing 2,500 on credit for rupees 4,000. In this transaction has also been discussed earlier. Now let us discuss that how this transaction is solved. So first of all, we are selling the goods for rupees 2,500. The stock is going out of the business. So 2,500 will be deducted from the stock. Now what is the difference between, now we are selling the goods, we have the cost price of the goods is 2,500 and we are selling it at 4,000. How much is the profit? The profit is of 1,500, which will be added in the capital. Whatever profit and whatever loss should be dealt with the capital. Profit should be added and loss should be deducted. This thing you should know very carefully. Now 4,000. Now what will do? 4,000, since we are selling the goods on credit for rupees 4,000. So 4,000 will be added in debtor. So no change in cash, no change in furniture, and no change in creditor. As already told, that a debtor refers to the person to whom we are selling the goods on credit. Now we can frame an equation and let us see our equation is balanced or not. So equation will be 18,500 in cash plus 500 in stock plus 4,000 in debtor plus 500 in furniture, 2,000 in creditor and 21,500 in capital. Now you can total it and see that whether the equation is balanced or not. So 21,500 plus 2,000, that is 23,500, 18,500, 19,000, 19,000 plus 4,000, 23,000, 23,000 plus 500, that is 23,500. So our equation gets balanced here. Moving on to the sixth transaction. So what is our sixth transaction? So our sixth transaction is paid rupees 1,000 for rent and rupees 500 for salary. In this case, this is a new transaction. So what we have to do in this, since the rent and salary both are your expenses, and whenever we are making the payment of expenses, it lead to the loss which will reduce the cash and capital both. So you have to remember only this thing. Since we are making the payment of rent and salary, both are expenses, so you can club up 1,000 plus 500 at 1,500. 1,500 will be deducted from cash, no change in stock, no change in debtor, no change in furniture, no change in creditor, and here also the 1,500 get deducted. Now we can frame an equation whether we can see that whether our equation is balanced or not. So we'll frame an equation. So now 18,500. So our effect gets 17,000 plus 500 plus 4,000 plus 500 is equal to 2,000 plus it will be 20,000. So 22,000 here, 17,500, 500, 1,000, 18,000 and 22,000, as you can see here. Now moving on to the seventh transaction. What does the seventh transaction say? Seventh transaction states that paid to creditor rupees 500. Since we are making the payment to creditor, so first of all the cash will decrease by 500, and second, making payment to creditor, so 500 will be also deducted from creditor. So this transaction gets affected. Hope so it is clear to you. Moving on to the next equation, that is eighth equation, but before that we have to frame an equation of 7, that is 17,500, it will be 16,500 plus 500 plus 4,000 plus 500 is equal to 1,500 and plus 20,000. Now moving on to our last transaction. Our last transaction is, that is 8th transaction, withdraw rupees 2,000 for personal use. Children, you have to remember one thing, that whenever we are withdrawing the cash or the goods for personal use, it is said to be drawings, and drawings is also treated as an expense. So it is an expense, we are making the payment of expense, so our cash and capital both will be deducted. So it is a loss. So 2,000 will be deducted from cash plus 0, no change in stock, no change in debtor, no change in furniture, no change in creditor, and here 2000 will be also deducted from here capital. So our equation gets completed, and now you can write here final equation and see that whether it is total or whether it is balanced or not. So let us see, 16,500 minus 2,000, that is 14,500 in cash, 500 in stock, 4,000 in debtor, and furniture 500, 1,500 in creditor, and 18,000 in capital. So let us see that whether our equation is balanced or not. 18,500 plus 15,000, 19,500 will be added over here. Now here let us see, 14,500, that is 15,000, 15,000, 19,000, 19,500. So our equation gets balanced, and accounting equation what we have prepared is correct. So this was the question 1. Moving on to the next question, that is question number 2, and we'll deal its more practical concepts. So our question number 2, our first transaction is first started business with cash rupees 1,20,000. 1,20,000. As already discussed, so no discussion will be further. Cash increases by 1,20,000. No change in stock, no change in debtor, no change in furniture, creditor, and only the capital gets created of 1,20,000. So this was first equation. Moving on to the next equation. So before that we have to frame a transaction. 1,20,000 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0 0, 1,20,000. Okay. Now moving on to the second transaction. Second transaction is purchase typewriter for cash. Purchased typewriter for cash rupees 8,000. Since we are purchasing the typewriter, so typewriter is also an asset. Typewriter is also an asset. So you can write here, you can, instead of writing the furniture, since the furniture is not given in the transaction, so typewriter we can write here. Write here the typewriter. Since we are making the payment of typewriter through cash, so from our business 8,000 will be deducted. No change in stock, no change in debtor, and 8,000 will be added in typewriter. So no change in creditor and no change in capital. So our equation gets framed. Now let us see whether it is balanced or not. Equation. So 1,20,000 minus 8,000, that is 1,12,000. Cash, no change in stock, no change in debtor, 8,000 will be added typewriter, no change in creditor, 1,20,000 will be added. Now moving on to the third transaction. The third transaction is purchase goods 50,000 for cash. Purchased goods rupees 50,000 in cash. So stock will be added 50,000 and the cash will be deducted by 50,000. So no change in anywhere, no change in creditor, no change in capital. Now let us frame an equation whether it is balanced or not. Equation. So our equation will be 1,12,000 minus 50,000, that is 62,000, plus 50,000 plus 0 plus 8,000 plus 0 plus 1,20,000. As you can see, the liability side is 1,20,000 and asset side 62,000 plus 50,000, 1,12,000 and plus 8,000, that is 1,20,000. So moving on to a next transaction. So our next transaction is receive 600 for commission. Receive rupees 600 for commission. One thing more you have to remember, children, that we are receiving the commission, so we are getting the income. So whenever we are receiving the income, so both cash and capital gets affected. So cash will be added by 600 and no change in stock, no change in debtor, no change in typewriter, no change in creditor, and the capital gets increased by 600 since it is an income. Now again we will frame an equation that whether it is equal or not. Equation. So we can write here 62,600 plus 50,000 plus 0 plus 8,000 0 plus 1,20,600. So now moving on to a last equation. Last equation is goods costing rupees 60,000 sold for 80,000 on credit. Sold for 80,000 on credit means the cost price of goods was rupees 60,000. So the 60,000 will be deducted from stock. No, let us not make it 60,000. It is given in the question, that is 10,000. Okay, so the goods costing is 10,000. So 10,000 will be deducted from here. Now goods costing. Now what is the profit? The cost price of the goods is 10,000. We are selling it at 80,000. What is the profit? 70,000 profit. So 70,000 profit will be added in the capital, and 80,000 will be added in debtor. Hope so it is clear to you. Since the person to whom we are selling the goods on credit is known as debtor, so we are selling the goods on credit, we add 80,000. So no change in cash, no change in typewriter, no change in creditor. So let us see that whether our equation is balanced or not. So now our transaction is final. Now no transaction is, since the space is short, so I am writing here the short form final equation, and now let us total it. So here cash 62,600 plus 40,000, 50 minus 10, 40, plus 80,000 plus 8,000, 0 and plus 1,90,600. 90. Now let us see our equation is balanced or not. The liability side is coming 1,90,600 and the asset side is coming 62,600 plus 40,000, 1,02,600 plus 88,600, 0, 1,90,600. So our equation gets balanced. So our accounting equation gets proved. So moving on to our third question, and this will be our last question in today's class. So let's get started to our third question. Hope so the concepts are getting clear to you. If the concepts are not getting clear, then you can comment me on my comment box. I will make you more concepts clear. So let's get started to our third question, and this is last question of today's class. So question number 3, very simple and very short. Now in third question there is no use of typewriter, so you can erase it. One thing you can do it that you can read the whole question and then you can classify the assets, cash, stock, debtor, which is what is given in the question. It's depend upon the transaction which is given. So our first transaction is started business with cash 2 lakh. Started business with cash rupees 2 lakh. Simple. First transaction is very simple. 2 lakh will be added in cash, no change in stock, no change in debtor, creditor, no change, and capital will be added by 2 lakh. Now moving on to our next transaction equation. Now you have to write here cash 2 lakh to frame an equation. No change in stock, no change in debtor, 0 plus 2 lakh. Now moving on to a second transaction. Second transaction is purchase goods for cash 60,000. Purchased goods for cash rupees 60,000 and credit 1,50,000. Credit rupees 1,50,000. So how to do this transaction? As discussed earlier, you can do it in two parts. First part is purchase goods for cash and second part is purchase goods on credit. Now in both cases the goods is the stock is coming into the business. So stock increases first by 60,000 and second by 1,50,000. In first case we are making the payment of goods through cash, so our cash will be deducted by 60,000, and in second case we are making the payment of goods on credit, so our liability increases by 1,50,000. Rest no change in cash, no change in debtor, no change in creditor, no change in capital. So let us see our equation gets balanced or not. So you have to frame an equation here and write. You have to frame an equation and you have to write here 2 lakh minus 60,000, that is 1,40,000 plus 1 lakh 2,10,000 plus 0 is equal to 1,50,000 and plus 2 lakh. So let us see our equation is balanced or not. 2 lakh 350, 2 lakh plus 150 350 and 140 and 210 350. So our equation gets balanced. Moving on to a third transaction. Our third transaction is sold goods for cash. Sold goods for cash rupees 40,000 at profit of 20% and on credit costing 72,000 at profit of 25%. So this question we have discussed in the earlier classes, so let us understand in more simple ways. So you can also do this question in two parts. First, we are selling the goods for cash 40,000 at a profit of 20%. This is the first part. And sold goods on credit costing 72,000 at profit of 25%. So first of all, in first part, we are selling the goods for cash rupees 40,000. So 40,000 will be deducted from stock. Now 40,000 20%. What is the 40,000 or 20%? 8,000. Yes, it is 8,000. So 8,000 will be added over the capital. Since it is a profit, so profit creates a capital. Now what is the total profit? 40,000 cost price, 8,000 profit. So total profit 48,000. So 48,000 will be added in cash. Now the second part, here the no change in debtor, no change in creditor. Second part of the question states that sold goods on credit costing 72,000. So here the cost price, that is 72,000, will be deducted, and the 72,000 25% of profit. So it will be 72,000 25% of profit will be 25 ones are 25 fours are. Let us divide here. 72,000 for 18,000. So our 18,000 will be added over in the capital since it creates the profit. Now 72,000 and plus 18,000, 90,000 will be added to debtor. Since we are selling the goods on credit and the person to whom we are selling the goods on credit is our debtor, so no change in cash. Now let us see whether our equation is balanced or not. Equation. Now you can see there 1,40,000 plus 48,000, that is 1,88,000 plus 2,10,000 minus 40,000, it will be 1,70,000, 170 and 72, it will be 10 to 8, 98,000 plus 90,000 is equal to 1,50,000 and plus 2,26,000. Now moving to our last transaction. So our last transaction is paid rent rupees 5,000. So paid rent rupees 5,000. Since rent is an expense and we are making the payment of rent, so it will lead to the loss. So cash and capital both gets deducted. So 5,000 will be deducted from cash, no change in stock, no change in debtor, no change in creditor, and 5,000 will be minus from here. So now our transaction gets completed. So you can write here final equation and you can balance it. So you will get cash 1,83,000, stock 98,000, debtor 90,000, creditor 1,50,000 and this 2,21,000 capital. Now let us see that whether our equation is balanced or not. 2,21,000 and 1,50,000. Let me do a rough column. So it will be, our liability side will be 150 and 221, 1, 527, 371. So and our asset will be liability side is coming at 371. I am writing over here so that I do not get confused. 1,83,000 plus 98, it will be 2,81,000 and 90, that is 371. So our equation gets balanced. As you can see that we have done today 3 questions. Now part 4 will be coming very soon. So this was all for today's video. So like, subscribe, share, comment. We'll meet you in next video. Thank you and have a nice day.